Today's narrative can be found in the Bible in John chapter 2. Please take some time and read this passage for yourself. The events in this episode happened around the year 26 AD in Cana and Capernaum, which are both located in Galilee. Today's proverb is, lay your problems before Jesus, for he can help you. It's time for the narrative. Let's learn. Jesus, along with Simon Peter, Andrew, John, Philip, and Nathanael, make it to the wedding in Cana of Galilee. Jesus' mom, Mary, is also there with Jesus' brothers and sisters. We know that Jesus has at least 4 brothers. They are James and Jude. Both of these guys would write a book in the New Testament. Joses, which is short for Joseph, he was named after his father, and Simon, which was a very popular name. Jesus also has 2 sisters, but the Bible does not tell us their names. They all were having a wonderful time celebrating the wedding. However, Mary brought some terrible news to Jesus. She whispers to him, they ran out of wine. This was really bad news. Why? Imagine if I was going to have a party and I tell you that I will give you all the food and drinks you want. However, at the party, I tell you that I ran out of food and you'll have to go find food somewhere else. What would you think of me? You would say, this guy is cheap and is not smart enough to plan for his own party. In the same way, the wedding host ran out of wine, which would make the bride and groom, the people getting married, look horrible. Jesus looks at his mother and says, woman, my hour has not yet come. So why should I do anything about the situation? Jesus is saying that this problem has nothing to do with his new ministry. However, Mary knows that her son can intercede for her and redeem the situation. She knows that Jesus is kind and she has faith in his goodness. So she walks over to the servants and says, do whatever Jesus says. Right then, Jesus walks over to the servants and Jesus' disciples follow him. Jesus looks at the servants and points at 6 stone jars and says, fill those jars with water. Those jars were used by the wedding guests to wash themselves. Kind of gross jars. Anyways, each jar was giant and could hold 20 or 30 gallons of water. Although this seems like an odd request, the servants listen, so they fill the stone jars with water. As they look at Jesus, he does not wave his hands or do anything fancy. He simply says, now fill up a cup and bring it to the toastmaster. So the servants obey. As the toastmaster drinks from the cup, he is amazed. He calls the groom over and says to him, everyone I know serves the good wine first. Then, after the people have drunk, they bring out the cheap wine. But you have saved the good wine until now. Little does the man know that Jesus, the God-man, turned water into wine. This was Jesus' first miracle in human flesh. He revealed his power and glory to his disciples, and they placed their faith in him. For only the Son of God and Messiah could do such a thing. After the party is over, Jesus leaves with his disciples, mother, brothers, and sisters. However, Jesus' brothers do not believe that he is the Messiah. They reject his identity. So Jesus only stays with his family for a few days, then he leaves them. He has much ministry to do and only a little time to do it. So he leaves with his disciples. So, what can we learn from today's narrative? Well, today's proverb is, lay your problems before Jesus, for he can help you. You see, Mary was a wise woman because she brought her problems to Jesus. Although Jesus is fully God, he did nothing in his own authority. He trusted in his Father, and he did whatever his Father desired, his Father's will. So, God the Father and God the Holy Spirit worked in perfect harmony with God the Son, Jesus, to turn the water into wine. Why? To display Jesus' identity as the Messiah and Son of God. The disciples saw this miracle and placed their faith in Jesus as Messiah. So let me ask you, do you bring your problems to Jesus? Since he is God's eternal Son, he will talk to the Father on your behalf, and the Father may grant your request. You are wise if you are like Mary and bring your problems to him. You are also wise if you are like the disciples who understood Jesus' identity and placed their faith in him. Don't be like Jesus' foolish brothers who rejected him. We'll learn more about that in the future. So take today's proverb, turn it into a question, and ask yourself, do I lay my problems before Jesus because he can help me? So what happens next? Well, Jesus will make a whip, turn over tables, and make new enemies. Wow. You can read about it in John chapter 2 and watch it in the next episode.
Don't forget kids. It's Theology for everyday life for kids. It's not for pink porcupines. You don't forget to take a daily bath, so don't forget this name. Theology for everyday life for kids. As for the baths, some of you guys forgot. And I can smell you through the screen. So please, go take a bath.
As always, my videos, PowerPoints, curriculum, coloring pages, and worksheets are free. Follow the link in the description below to download them.